Episode 3, we are going to talk about Maddie's, Madeline, her story with her labs.
Yeah.
Tell us what's going on, Maddie.
Oh, should we grab your laptop?
Oh yeah, should we?
Yeah. Time.
Hold on, let me get
Hey, little noodle.
Okay, noodle. All right. We are back. We're going to talk about Maddie's labs and, kind of like what she's been through. How did you even kind of know that you were going through something and understanding that maybe your hormones were off or something was off?
Yeah. So, I waited until my birthday passed. Last October, I was like, I've been hearing things about obviously how bad birth control really is for you, but of course it's just a solution to a no baby problem when we were younger, and no one was taught the repercussions of what can happen with your hormones. So I was like, great, this is just the safe route. This is responsible for me to do it this way, right? So I had been on birth control from when I was 19 until recently, and that's a long time. We don't need to know how long that is, but it's enough where you are wondering how old I am. And sheesh. So yeah, I was like, I need to get off of this. Like, I want to have kids soon. Like, this is just important to me. And so at first I was fine. I was a little worried about weight gain because I had heard some people gain weight when they get off of it, but I didn't even see immediate weight gain until like literally almost a year later, where I was like, I'm very healthy, right? Like I do need to be a little bit better about eating really, really good, but I do eat, like I'd say 90% of the time I'm eating clean with my meal preps and stuff. So living in LA has hurt me a little bit with going to social things. But a lot, like I was like, I've been getting my steps in more. That's been important to me this year, is working on getting 10K steps in a day. So I was just really frustrated because I was like, I'm starting to put on some weight. I don't understand why. I feel fine. Like, to be honest with you guys, I wake up in the morning, I don't feel exhausted unless I have a really hard workout. I'm not like dragging during the day. So I was like, this just is weird. So I was talking to Austyn about just, I was like, I'm wondering how my hormones are, because I feel like I'm gaining weight. I don't feel like I'm sitting here eating cookies. So I don't know what the problem is. And I was telling her about how I had, obviously been on birth control and whatnot. And she was like, oh, we need to talk about like some toxic things you're doing. Obviously your hormones could be jacked from the birth control. Like, there's several things, which I'll let her talk to you about. But she's like, there's several things. So what we decided to do was doing blood work and a hormone test, just to kind of see where I'm at personally, which I thought this would be cool to share with you guys, because I know a lot of my friends cut off birth control and haven't done this. And this is helping me immensely because now I'm figuring out solutions.
Yeah.
So.
And it's just so important. I want to touch on that. Those were all great points, but like to be preventative, because especially, in this world with autoimmune and things like that these days, where things are just so prevalent, especially in women, because of not just birth control, but things that we're surrounded by, like our foods, our water, toxins, toxic products, toxic people, like all of it plays a role. It really does. And I've got Maddie's labs here. It's hard for you guys kind of to see, but we're going to kind of talk about some markers that we did see.
Yeah.
So just to start too, when you get off the birth control pill, a lot of you've got a lot of mineral deficiencies, because it depletes vitamin B. It's gonna, just obviously just completely strip your hormones. That's what it's supposed to do, right? You're trying not to get pregnant, so that's the point of the pill, is to strip your hormones and reduce those levels. Well, stripping your hormones comes with a lot of other things. It affects your other hormones, like your thyroid, or a lot of times your gut. There's studies that show that the pill can actually affect our gut microbiome. And I don't want to get too nerdy, because I could sit here and talk about this all day, but that's why it's really important to just do this testing, and be preventative before something does become a thing, like before 100%. It becomes a condition, or before you're diagnosed with something and it's chronic and it's a lot harder to reverse per se.
Yeah.
So when we were doing her labs, we definitely saw some hormonal imbalances. But we also saw, and you'll see kind of like what a standard lab panel I do just for a new patient. I do in-depth testing too, which is completely different. But this is just
address isn't on there.
This is no address on here.
Y'all ain't seeing where I live, okay?
But just like a standard panel of what I want to see at the least for every new patient. We're gonna go over, it's got ferritin and iron, a whole iron panel, CBC with a differential, a metabolic panel. We do lipid. I test the thyroid and its antibodies, because sometimes thyroid can actually look normal if you're going per se to just your general practitioner, which I talked to Maddie about. TSH can be normal. Yeah. So you might have antibodies that are off, which can then kind of show us, oh, maybe there's some sort of autoimmunity going on. B12, folate, and then we tested on her female hormones because she's been off the pill, and I wanted to see where those were. And then just other things like vitamin D, which is essential, insulin and magnesium, and then the thyroid antibodies. So that's kind of what a basic panel looks like. And now on Maddie's, we saw she had some blood sugar issues. So low blood sugar actually for her was a thing. Her thyroid was off and it was very high. So just to be basic, when TSH is high and we're testing that, that actually means we're not producing enough thyroid hormone. So it's got this opposite relationship, which can kind of be tricky. But we really want to focus on, for her right now, while these hormones are off, eating healthy proteins, making sure you're eating enough, because a lot of times I see blood sugar issues and women and females are just not eating enough protein.
I know so many people who skip meals. Like, I only do that if it's like a worst case scenario. But like, that's like such common things. And I always tell my friends, I'm like, you need to eat. Yeah.
What are some tips I gave you, Maddie? I know we talked about breakfast, right? So making sure that you're eating your breakfast before.
So she's like, I want you to try to eat food before you have caffeine at all. Energy drinks, you guys, I've learned that aren't the best, so I'm going to try to cut them out. But this past week, I actually have been working on eating gluten-free and eating before I have my coffee, because I usually eat it with my breakfast, which I also find myself not even finishing my coffee because I don't like it. No wonder I don't feel great when I drink it. So this makes sense. And my anxiety is like so much less.
If you have anxiety and you already have that excess cortisol and your sympathetic nervous system is in overdrive, caffeine is not your friend, y'all. No. Like, go to a mushroom-based coffee, a reishi-based coffee, something that's going to have adaptogens in it that's actually going to serve you. I do not recommend coffee. Personally, I don't drink coffee. I don't have caffeine. I already am a very stimulated person.
This is insane. I didn't even know this, you guys.
I do not drink coffee. I don't have stimulants because I'm already a very energetic, hyped up person, and I don't need another thing to hype me up. You know, it's not going to serve me. It's going to put me in that excess cortisol state, and that's when we get all of the bad effects that come with it. And then also just eating our protein before we're eating our carbs. I know that's another thing we talked about.
I worked on that today.
Yeah, we've been working on that, but eating our protein and a healthy fat before we're just, you know, reaching for a bagel or something like that.
And it makes sense. I mean, coming from, you know, nutrition, food point of view, how hard it is to break down food. Like, my boyfriend was just talking about how he did a fast and how whenever he got off the fast, you're not going to go and eat a bagel. Like, your body's already, you know, had to break down all of these things. And that's just everyday life. That's not just for a fast. But how hard it is to break down a carb. So it totally makes sense while fueling yourself with the healthy stuff, the really, really nutritious stuff that you need versus a complex carb makes sense.
Yeah. So just doing these basic things on a, you know, daily basis can really serve your hormones. And we're going to go more in depth on some other episodes about, okay, what can I do if I've got imbalanced hormones, and really focus on that. But, you know, for Maddie, obviously her thyroid's struggling. So making sure that she's serving herself with the people that she's around, right? Making sure that she's obviously doing the things to support her hormones. Also, products are a huge thing, ladies. Like, we use so much makeups and so many like beauty care things, and those fragrances and those extra, you know, added in things in these products can actually cause they can be endocrine disruptors, which basically mean that they disrupt our hormones. So this is really huge. Our skin is our biggest organ. So what's going on our skin is going in our body. It's touching our gut. It's affecting our hormones, and it's definitely causing inflammation if it's something that our body doesn't want in there. We've already got enough things that we're surrounded by, you know, we don't want another one. So going low tox, understanding
Yeah.
our products, understanding how to read labels.
And we're definitely going to be going more into depth on those things because
Yeah.
I am also learning about this stuff
Yeah.
from my friend right here and using doTERRA, which I also am going to be talking more about on my own socials as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, it's like I'm more on the nutrition side, so I don't really know all of these things that we were talking about, like even like candles and
Yeah.
you know, I've been using like not like low tox cleaning products because I obviously became aware of that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But there's so many things, and we're gonna definitely do another video
Yeah.
about that stuff.
Yeah, so stay tuned, but really, you know, serving yourself, being preventative, that's the key takeaway. Getting your labs done and listening to your body. Like
Yeah.
Maddie noticed she's gaining maybe a little bit of weight, and she's doing the right thing. She's, you know, working out per se, but maybe working out hard isn't serving her because
Yeah.
she's already in this cortisol spike. So maybe
Yeah,
she
I
needs
haven't
to
been doing HIIT lately
Yeah.
because I just can't handle it. Like,
Yeah.
I just started, well, and we'll talk about what medication I got on, but I just
Yep.
started taking my supplements, and it was making me so tired last week, just like hopping on that.
Yep.
So I was like, I'm not really going to work out this week.
Yeah.
I'm going to get in movement, but you have to like be nice to yourself, and that's the part that I'm struggling with because I'm so hard on myself in general since I'm in front of the camera all the time. I'm like, I need this weight off tomorrow. She's
Yeah.
like, that's not how it's going to work. And I'm
No.
like, why not?
Yeah, yeah.
This is when believing in Ozempic would be nice, but it's never gonna fucking happen. So.
Yeah, Ozempic is not the go-to, ladies.
We'll have to do another video.
Yeah,
about
we're
that.
going to talk about the supplements and what I've got her on too for blood sugar and thyroid, and it's different for everyone, right? So don't take this away and be like,
I'm
oh,
gonna
that's
get
what
that.
I need to get on.
Yeah,
You
that's
really
where you
need
need
to
to hit her up because she'll actually specialize what you need because she's, for example, she's gonna put me on a higher supplement here soon.
Yeah.
So it's just all about so many science things. We have her for that, not me.
we got her for the meals.
Yeah.
we got me
We
for
got
the
you
labs.
for the other things.
All right, we'll see you on the next video.